I want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone and all the Akim out there that be pushing this truth with nothing but sincerity in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. So with this one, though, I would make the lesson about, the Marakabs, the chariots. Because the chariots is the third sign of salvation. Because they're the ones that are going to beam me up, though. And I think it was just yesterday I made a video. It was about the Independence Day when they were partying on top of the roof, and then that big chariot just destroyed them. But guess what? It's gonna be like that to the people that ain't righteous from the nation of Israel. Starting off with the tribe of Judah all the way down to Issachar. In these days, man, there's a lot of religions. There's hundreds of religions. But you can only be one, and that's the nation of Israel. When them chariots come, man, they gonna come with vengeance, though. And they gonna fuck shit up. And that's the thing people don't understand, man. That's why they think the Christians think that, sweet Jesus is gonna come sweet. But guess what? It tells you in the book of Joel, that it'll be a day of gloominess. So how is it that he's gonna come with open arms, though, but it's gonna be a day of gloominess? That's why at the time of Noah, when the flood happened, that was the Most High. So that was wrath for the whole earth, except for Noah, his wife, his 3 kids, and their 3 wives. The Most High visited the earth, and it has to happen again, man. That's why I don't understand. If you know the book, though, you're supposed to know that it's supposed to be going down like that, man. The Most High is gonna come with indignation. So, no matter what, man, Christians want to believe that sweet Jesus, he's gonna come sweet. And first of all, it's not even his name. He's gonna come with all open arms and hugs. Nope, he's gonna come with indignation, wrath, and it's gonna be a day like no other, man, like no other day before. So, a little testimony about the Marakabs. They asked my name, and she wanted to make this video, because it's special, man. Because well, I started small when I was. This is the year. This happened. This was the year 2000, I believe. 2000 and we used to live in a ranch, though, man, by I-5, by Burger King Harris Ranch. If it's right there out by the I-5. The freeway. We used to live in a ranch like 10 minutes away from there. Well, that's where I pretty much grew. My childhood was right there. Then I moved to Kalinga. So, right there, man, it was fun, man. I ain't gonna lie, it was fun being a kid. All my family, cousins, we used to always play in the dirt, man. And then there was a little park right there. It always used to be big for, I mean, it's pretty decent size, though, the park. We played soccer most of the times there. And then we played, well, I didn't play basketball at the time, but there was a little basketball court there. So it was fun, man, just being a kid and playing around, and cousins and, little friends that we had there and shit, though. But, well, anyways, I remember, I think it was my mom and my aunt. What's funny, I just see my aunt right now, but through my dad's side. But, yeah, it was my mom and one of my aunts, one of her sisters. She was taking my other aunt to her house, and I said it was approximately like 4 or 5 in the morning. So she was taking her to the ranch, to another ranch actually, and then I had her son which he was at the time like 2 years old. I think he was like 2 years old. So my mom was driving, right? And then my aunt was in the back seat with her son, the 2 year old. And next, she was dropping her off because it was actually Slakia. It was actually two of my aunts. My other aunt, she was younger. She was actually in the passenger side, and it was the aunt with the son that was a 2 year old. She was in the back seat. So my mom was dropping off my aunt that was with the 2 year old, right, to her house at another ranch. And that little 2 year old, which is my little cousin, he kept looking in the back though, in the back window, and he kept pointing, like he in the back window, he kept pointing in the back. So then they didn't, you know what I mean? They didn't understand. So one of my aunt looks, and next thing you know, there was a so-called UFO above the car that my mom was driving. So there was which it was actually a chariot that was above the car. And so next thing you know, mom looked, my mom was like, "What the heck?" So she dropped off my aunt, right? My aunt that was with her son. So I don't think the cherry just left though. So mom and my other aunt, my younger aunt at the time that was in passenger, they're kind of spooked though. They're kind of scared. So when she dropped my aunt off, she was driving back to the ranch where I live at. So she was just going back home. My mom actually, and with her younger sister. And next thing you know, my mom through I think she said her side mirror, she looked, and that Marakab was above the car, that closer above the car. And all she saw was big metal thing, circle. She said it was gray. And she said she was scared though. But us being the truth, we understand what that means though. And yeah, so that the chariot was right above. I mean, yeah, it was above the car. I was scared though. She was very, very scared. So she drove to the trailer, because I used to live in the trailer, and she pulled up, and I was like, a little kid. I was like 9, I'll say, like 9 years old, and she woke me up. I didn't know none of this happened, right? So I was just asleep during the time she was taking my aunts. I was asleep. So when she went to the room, she woke me up, and she goes, "Look, come over here." So I went, and she pointing at, we looked out through a window. We opened up the window. She goes, "Look at that star right there." And I looked out the window, and I was like, "What the?" There was a star that I never seen in my life. It was no stars at all, but there's just bright one. So bright though, it was just like, man, I know you'll see that thing from miles away, miles away. It could be in a different town. You would have been able to probably even. That's how bright it was, that star. But it was actually a chariot. So I was looking at it and I was like, oh damn, like that's a bright star right there. I never seen that. So then my grandma used to live next door to us. And what I mean, my cousins that were like my age, we're all young, we're all right there. So my mom was like, "Let's go to your grandma's," because she was scared. She couldn't go to sleep. Imagine though, seeing something that big above your car, you're not even know how to react to it. So she was just scared. She went to tell my grandma. So yeah, there we go. Me and her and my little sister, we went to my grandma, and my cousins were awake though. All of them, my uncles, how Ishikara family is. We all big ass family. We're like 20 of us in the front yard, my grandma's front yard. And we were looking at it like, what the heck, man? To this day, you can even ask my cousin, one of my cousins though. That's yeah, one of my cousins that's my age though. And we were tripping out on it. What the heck? And my mom, at the time, she had one of those recorders, the ones old school ones, the ones you put on your shoulder, the ones you put on your shoulder and you can record. The old school ones, man, like the movie director ones and shit. So then she started recording it. And next thing you know, she's like screamed though. She dropped the video camera. And we were like, what the heck? I got scared as a little kid. I was like, oh shit, what's going on? My mom said that when she was recording the star, the so-called star, which is chariot, there was like a beam of fire though that she felt the beam of fire went through and like she felt burnt through her eye and shit, her face. That she felt like burnt and shit, like a beam. Well, how you know what I mean? And at the time, that's what we were like, what? What are you talking about? We didn't see no beam. We didn't see no fire. But that's just telling you how strong a chariot is, man. So if a chariot wants to, it's gonna shoot a beam, and that's how I know these prophecy and things of the matter that the apostles and elders and the Akim too that speak upon the destruction of a beam being thrown, shoot out. It's fucking true, man. Cause firsthand experience, my mom felt that beam and that burn. The chariot didn't destroy her, you know, but she got a little taste of it though. So imagine one of the chariots would have shot the full beam, the hotness of that laser. Man, mom could have been desolated, man. But it didn't destroy her though. The water Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And I believe, man, I'm a strong believer about them chariots, us like the chariots of the Most High. So, getting to the part, so then my mom has recorded, right? So she slapped the videotape because it wasn't considered disc, it was a videotape into the VCR. And next thing you know, we seen that chariot man just moving around crazy, and we're telling mom, hey, were you moving the camera like around? She's like, no, I had the camera still. That so-called star was doing all that, man, but it was moving fast, yo. It was like zigzagging, going up and down. It'll be small, then it'll get big. It was crazy, yo, man. Like, we just didn't understand. All the family, we were like deep in the fucking big in the living room, a small living room, but we're all deep watching that videotape. And we were like, oh shit, like, look at that go, man. Like, it was just zigzagging, going up and down, just putting up a show for my mom. And it did that, man. So it's true, man. I'm about to say about what the brothers talk about the laser beams and 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 the chariots, like the chariots of the Most High being the so-called UFOs. It's that. It is that. I was gonna say it has to be. No, it is that. Because me being a youngster, I was 9 years old, so I was able to remember something like that. So you know what I mean, though. So the chariots, it's something special to me, man. Like it's something real special to me because as a kid, man, I just remember seeing that though, man. And I probably seen a few, thinking that it was like kind of like so-called stars, but at the same time, um, it wasn't them though. It was chariots most likely. So the smoke is, man, fucking up getting me messing up with my asthma right now and shit though, man. I'm looking at the sun right now. It's like red. But I had to do this lesson, man, because I had to do this lesson. It's a special video to me though. So I want to get to the book of Second Kings 2:11. So the brothers know there's Elijah right here, and it says, "This is the second book of Kings 2:11, and it came to pass as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire, of horses of fire, and parted them above asunder, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven." Heaven is going up, is up. So there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire. So when you think about, it's not an actual chariot, man. That's what people need to come to understand. Oh, we're gonna see a fire, a chariot. No, man. Remember about the snake, Eve? It wasn't an actual snake. It was just Esau at the time. It was a man, but he was a snake. He had the spirit though of a snake. So this is the same thing with the chariots. It wasn't a chariot. Like, you're not gonna see a chariot, man. You gotta think more deeper, man. You gotta think more deeper though. That's the thing of the matter though. You gotta think more, way more deeper than that. Because it ain't gonna be like that, man. That's why they know how the natural disaster is gonna happen is because of the Most High. The Most High does that though. So I got a couple pictures though. Look at whirlwind. So I'm telling you, them chariots, man, they're powerful because my mom, my mom felt that heat in her face, like her eyes, like a laser beam though. She literally felt that shit, man. So them lasers, them chariots are gonna shoot out. It's gonna happen though. And look at this chariot right here. Look at this chariot on fire. You see what I'm saying? So they get into shape and sizes, and that's all. Look at this one. It's on fire though, man. Beautiful too. You see? This is the picture, man, someone took, and it's a fire, so-called UFO on fire. But you see, that's the thing, man. The chariots go to turn into any shape and size. So it says, chariot of fire, of horses of fire, and part of them ascended, and Elijah went up by whirlwind. So it just spun, and then boom, it took him up, beat him up. It happened, man. He got delivered, man, quick. See, when things are going down, we want to get delivered too, though, because we ain't trying to be here with part of the destruction that is about to happen. That's for another video of the destruction of Babylon the Great. So we ain't trying to be here when we're gonna see probably thousands of chariots that'll come out. Of course, it's gonna be the war in heaven with the dragon. We're gonna be seeing that too. We're like, oh shit, this is going down though. And next thing you know, that they're gonna call it a UFO takeover. But next thing you know, boom, our salvation. And they're gonna look at us crazy because we want them to come and we want the destruction though. But that's the thing, man. So, let me get Zechariah, because what my mom saw. And I got a cousin though that will back me up on this video. At least. Well, he don't even know I'm in the truth like that because I don't see him, but he's someone that could testify about that day. It's Zechariah 5:1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth there 10 cubits. So I will say this chariot, kind of like the size of the house, tallness and kind of bigness. That's pretty big, It's not the biggest, but it's pretty big. But to see something, a flying roll, a chariot up and something. Okay, imagine a house in the air. It's gonna be like, oh shit, this is something not small. This is something. It's not the biggest, but it's pretty big. But it's a circle. And that's what Mom saw. She saw the flying roll above her car when she was driving it. So imagine you're driving, you see something metal round above your car, and you're like, what the heck is this? Something this big and this low. And you know, with planes, the only thing that could be low like that is a helicopter, though. But this was silver and circle. Yeah, it wasn't no ordinary plane or anything like that, man. So my mom saw the flying roll. She lifted up her eyes like this precept and saw flying roll. She saw that, man. And that's the thing about it, though, man. People don't believe, but hey, it is what it is, man. My mom saw it, she just couldn't understand. And hopefully I could, tell her the real truth, me being the truth and tell her, hey, man, you know what you saw and such and such. Maybe I'll make a video in Spanish to translate and show her, and she could understand what I'm talking about. Because there's to her to this day, it's still unexplained what she saw, what she don't understand. So, hopefully I could just, break it down to her one day and so she could really understand and tell her about the truth, man. And the real name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know? Mom's a strong believer too, but she just calling on the wrong name. So let me get Isaiah 3:24. Oh, 37 actually. Wrong. 24. This is the book of Isaiah 37, verse 24. By thy servants hast thou reproached the Most High, and hast said, by the multitude of my chariots, now you know what the chariots are, am I come up to the height of the mountains. That's pretty tall. Mountains are pretty tall. To the sides of Lebanon, and I will cut down the tall cedars thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof, and I will enter into the height of his border and the forest of his Carmel. So, multitude of my chariots. So, those so-called UFOs, man, those are chariots from the Most High. There's hundreds, thousands of them. Imagine that, though, man. Remember, they gotta come over and take over. Come over and take over. And you're gonna see all that come through, man. You're gonna see them chariots come through. And hopefully, I'm an elect, a remnant of the Most High, so I could be beamed up, man, because I'm doing this for my salvation, because, I'm family too, man. Pray every day, I should be praying 3-4 times a day, but I try to, how things are going down, man. It's happened rapidly, though, so I'm trying to put as much work into this ministry, though, as I can, and today I was supposed to work, though, but I was just wanted to do the video too, of course. But the smoke, man, being outside is fucking me up. And working in the fields, not like slaves, which we are slaves still, without the yoke around their neck. I would have messed up my asthma be acting like crazy right now, especially because of smoke right now. So I just took the day off pretty much in ways, though. But if you look up in the sun right now, it's not. This clock is actually wrong. 3 hours ahead. 6-7 actually, or 7-7. If you look up right now, man, the sun's red. But I just wanted to take a break from being outside because this smoke messes up my asthma. And yeah, so like it says right here, by the multitude of my chariots, am I come to the height of the mountains. So the mountain's tall, man. The height of a mountain is pretty tall. So they'd be flying over that tall. And you notice my chariots. And I just explained what a chariot could look like in my testimony. So them so-called UFOs, man. Don't be scared of them, man. But you should be scared if you're not in this truth and you're not doing things diligently and you're not calling. There's so much, man. If you're not under the wing of GMS, though, even if you are, you're not, your heart and your mind's not diligently to the Most High and you're not doing the work, you best believe be scared of them chariots. But being in the truth, under the wing of GMS, Great Millstone, and following the commandments and calling on the name and praying, though, and doing things diligently, we shouldn't be afraid, just waiting for that salvation patiently. So with that, hopefully this video was edifying. You know, you edify enough to know what so-called UFO is. So next one, I say, Shalom.